Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a mayor from our region decides to throw his hat in the race for the governor's mansion. And if fitness is a part of your New Year's resolutions, expect to see some higher prices if you go to the gym.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome back. The time is now 5:34. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast. Now, Brandon, we were talking about these warmer temperatures earlier, and I've been talking about my warm tea, and I'm hot right now.
Exactly.
You mentioned the iced coffee, and now I'm thinking I need something cold.
Yes, exactly. But you've been sick recently, so I mean, I know you want to try to continue your recovery, but
yes,
maybe something a little ice today.
A warm tea, but I need an iced coffee on the side.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about the current situation with live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. Thankfully, we are still not seeing any action. It's off to our north. It's actually well off to our north near Lexington, up toward Moorhead, north of Moorhead actually, but there is a special weather statement for a strong thunderstorm that will impact portions of east central Fleming, which is out of our area to the north, and north central Rowan through 6 o'clock. Some gusty winds, but no warning, nothing else, and no watches for us at this point. Temperatures are very warm. 69 Manchester is the hot spot this morning. 52 Ashland and Jonesville, the cool spots. Now Clintwood was at 52 a few minutes ago. They're already up to 54, so temperatures are going up, so we've had to adjust our morning temperatures, okay? 24 degrees warmer in London this morning from this time yesterday, 15 degrees warmer in Jackson, 13 degrees warmer Richmond, Somerset, and Hazard this morning. Also Jonesville, 16 degrees warmer also in Prestonsburg. Now you look statewide, everybody's in the 60s, close to 70, down toward Bowling Green and Clarksville. They've been having some tornado warnings out that way this morning. That is not moving this way just yet. We're keeping an eye on that. 71 in Nashville, but 47 in the Tri-Cities over there in that sheltered valley at their airport. 71 is the forecast high today. If we get there, we break records that were set back at the National Weather Service office at Jackson and the London Corbin Airport 23 years ago today. Olivia?
You know, you're talking about breaking records. Last week, were we not breaking records for cold temperatures? Now warm temperatures. But thank you, Brandon. A police chase that went through at least 2 counties in Southwest Virginia ends with an arrest and a man in critical condition at a Pike County hospital. On December 29th, officers with the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office were told a police chase was coming into their area. When the chase got to the Lake Road area, police were ready with a spike strip which slowed down the car. Police say a man who was a passenger shot himself, and a woman who was driving was arrested on several charges. The man was flown to the Pikeville Medical Center before being taken somewhere else. The names of the 2 involved have not been released. A crash late last week left 1 Pike County man dead. Kentucky State Police troopers say it happened just after 10:30 Friday night on US 460 in Elkhorn City. When police got to the scene, they discovered a car driven by 20-year-old Chase Caudle of Feds Creek had left the road and hit an embankment. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. 3 people were hospitalized after a New Year's Eve crash in Wayne County. Police say a driver tried to make a left at the intersection of Kentucky routes 92 and 90 in Monticello when the driver pulled into the path of another car. The crash caused one of the cars to then collide with a truck sitting at the light. Officials say all 3 are expected to recover. We are just a few hours away from state lawmakers returning to Frankfort for the 2023 legislative session. Some bills to watch include issues such as sports betting and medical marijuana. Education funding is also expected to be debated. Chad Hedrick explains what teachers say they'll be watching for as districts still work to recover from the pandemic and natural disasters.
Monday was a school night for students across Kentucky and lawmakers heading to Frankfort Tuesday.
It's been a few years of having those, interests and questions and concerns every time the legislature comes back to Frankfort for a session.
Allison Sloan has long been an advocate for public education in Kentucky, and when the legislative session comes around, she and her fellow teachers usually have a list of things they hope to see lawmakers address.
We still have students missing because of COVID. We have children missing because of floods and tornadoes and things like that they're still having issues about. So it's across the board that we're really concerned about how funding is going to happen for us next year.
This year, SEEK funding went back to being measured by current attendance like before COVID. The last couple of years, it was based on pre-COVID numbers. Sloan worries for districts who have seen drops in enrollment or inconsistent attendance.
It's becoming a major concern of a big gap in funding for next year.
In October, Governor Beshear laid out his goals for the session and education and will likely discuss them again Wednesday during his State of the Commonwealth address. They include a 5% across-the-board pay raise for all school staff members, investment in professional development, as well as $3,000 in student loan forgiveness for teachers per year that they work as a teacher in Kentucky. He also called to restore teacher pensions for new teachers.
Current teachers need to have some incentives to stay because they're leaving, and they've been leaving for the last year or two in massive numbers, and we don't have the same amount of people coming into the profession.
Challenges there's no textbook lesson for, but hopeful lawmakers will bring solutions. In Frankfort, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
Sloan says she would like to see more investment in universal pre-K and kindergarten. Just last week, Kentucky was awarded a $36 million grant during the next 3 years to expand learning programs. Kentucky's filing deadline for statewide office this year is this Friday. Republican candidate for governor Somerset Mayor Alan Keck has announced he raised more than $200,000 in the first few weeks he's been running. He got in right before Thanksgiving. He also says he has answered 137 questions on his website about what he would do as governor. The mayor is in a crowded field of candidates seeking the GOP nomination in the May primary. Attorney General Daniel Cameron is expected to officially file today. Kentucky now has some of the lowest unemployment benefits in the country. A bill that took effect yesterday slashed the program. Claimants get 12 weeks of coverage. That's down from 26. They will also have to prove they're looking for work more often. Republican lawmakers say they passed the bill to encourage people to get back to work sooner. The Lexington Herald reports there was some bipartisan pushback. Republican State Senator Philip Wheeler called the bill cruel, and Governor Andy Beshear vetoed the measure, but lawmakers overrode him. The new year means new commitments to get fit. Along with the benefits, come get some new costs. Personal fitness trainer was just one of the many services that is now subject to a 6% sales tax. But the extra costs aren't stopping the many who have fitness goals at the top of their resolutions this year. Grayson Passamore has more.
For many, when they ring in a new year, they ring in new resolutions.
We all do it. We all set those goals on January 1st. I want to eat better. I want to sleep better. I want to do things that make me feel better. Definitely working out, fitness, that's one of those things. And we get so gung-ho about it.
But as the master motivator at Cycle U, Jason Mitchell knows all too well, life can get in the way very quickly.
When they're setting those goals, to set realistic goals, to find ways to infuse this new motivation, maybe this new workout into your daily life so you can manage that time and look for ways to negotiate time in your schedule that will help you stick to it.
Mitchell developed his own approach to embarking on a new fitness journey, calling it RAMP. He says first you recognize your goals, then aim for them in small ways, even if it's a 10-minute walk or a 1-mile bike ride.
I always tell folks, love yourself first, motivate yourself, and then the P stands for perform. Just do it. Just get out there and do it, and find ways to do it differently each and every time.
Whether that's through a group fitness class or not. Because as Mitchell says, everyone's fitness journey is going to look different.
There are always on-ramps and exit ramps on the journey, and that's okay. That's what makes it interesting. Just because you take the exit ramp doesn't mean that there's not going to be another on-ramp to that fitness journey. Always look for it.
More than 30 services were required to start collecting the sales tax from their customers starting January 1st. This comes after lawmakers passed House Bill 8. Just ahead, fans of a famous singer pushed back against a popular magazine for leaving one of their favorite artists off its list for best singers of all time.
And while we are dry for the moment, I don't think we stay that way for too much longer. I'll have the latest on when we can see some action in about 3 minutes.